Hello, this is Nice Wonder, and I'm here with Courage, who is an activist in Altadena. As you know, here in the LA area, there have been a lot of fires, mostly in Pacific Palisades on the west side, and then here in San Gabriel Valley of Altadena. And Courage, how are you?
Hi. I'm stressed out of my mind, but but I'm surviving and a part of a lot of good things right now.
That's awesome. Let's talk about what's happened, and mostly focus on the good things that have happened and are happening. Okay. So, what is the name of the organization, first of all, that you represent?
So I'm involved deeply with about 5 different organizations right now. Mainly, I'm involved with Altadena Not for Sale, which is focused on keeping Altadenan lands and Altadenan hands, keeping outside interests from coming in and buying up all of our devastated neighborhoods. I'm also involved with Authentic Altadena, which is a foreign by Altadena production company. Altadena Filmmakers, which is what it sounds like. We're working on a documentary. I'm also involved with Beautiful Altadena Preservation, which has a petition on getting Altadena residents and positions of influence, and so that we have say over the rebuilding process. A dozen movements that really have emerged from this disaster, where we're all trying to fight for the best interest for Altadena, but also just help as many people as possible.
That's fantastic. And for those of you who may not know, Altadena is a city in the North San Gabriel, I guess a town, maybe more a town, in the North San Gabriel Valley here in Southern California, next to Pasadena. So we got the two Denas side by side. It's the alternative to Pasadena, I guess you could say, is Altadena. Sorry. And as you know, there were all these crazy wildfires, and I think, wasn't it something like 10,000 structures were lost? Is that right?
Yeah, so it was about 9,000 structures that were completely destroyed. 2,000 of our structures were majorly damaged. And so literally 60% of the town was wiped out.
Wow.
And there's about currently 20 to 40,000 people who are still displaced. A lot of us, even if we have standing structures, can't go back because of ash or smoke damage, because of air quality issues. It's a huge mess, and really the displacement issue is one of the biggest ones that I've been thinking a lot about intensely, more so than usual recently, because the shelter was recently closed down a week and a half ago.
What shelter?
There was a shelter that was established at the convention center in Pasadena.
Yes.
So that was shut down, of course, just even though
How
there
long
were so
ago was
many
that
of
shut
us. A week and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we went there to visit it on the 11th of January.
Yeah.
So we shot some video there. So that'll be
I
part
actually
of it.
hadn't been there myself when it was occupied, but really that really upset me a lot, because we really don't have any options. We're kind of being dropped on our asses right now.
Oh, wow.
Where there's people, everyone that lived in Altadena, the nicest people, by the way, and I will not say that about any other area of LA I've been to. I've been everywhere, but all these people are just using their own money or whatever money they've been able to get from grants, fundraisers, GoFundMes, which is not very much, to pay for hotels, pay for these overpriced apartments elsewhere, being far away from home, in these places that feel very alien to them, and everyone's really struggling. And I'm lucky enough where my house survived. About 10 houses survived on my street. There used to be 40 houses on that street.
Wow.
But I've been pretty much roughing it. We don't have water until April at the earliest. But we didn't have power until the day before Valentine's Day, and then the day of the day before Valentine's Day, we had a mudslide and a flood at the same time, and so I had to evacuate my house the third time. So it's been just nothing but chaos for all of us. But going back to what I originally was saying is that, a lot of us are still displaced. None of this is still it's very raw. We haven't really found any kind of, semblance of normalcy, and we still need a lot of assistance, and things are still very difficult, very scary, and we are not getting near enough support that we need from any of the institutions, whether it's FEMA or the government or any institutions that can provide us housing, which is one of the things I've been thinking a lot about, where it's we need temporary housing, and we need to demand that now.
I've been to the Foothill campus of Pasadena City College, and I know that FEMA was there for a while, and I was there this past week with some students that I work with, and I noticed FEMA was gone. but the Small Business Administration is still there.
Mhm.
So are you running into that a lot now?
Pretty much all of the major organizations that are helping, that are there to help, and I say help because they're not doing a great job, a lot of them, they're all located now in one location, which is the Recovery Center. FEMA is definitely, I've noticed them in a lot of places, and so they've definitely been present, but there's been way too many accounts of just FEMA making it overly difficult to give us the support that we need, or just finding lots and lots of ways to either screw us over or make it like just pick out like details about our living arrangements or our own circumstances that make it almost near impossible to very difficult to get the support that we actually should be eligible for. For instance, on my property, there are 5 families that live on the property in 5 different sections. Almost none of us have gotten any support at all, not a dime, because they're trying to treat all of us like one household, even though we're all separate tenants that live on the property. So like one person who was a tenant at the house, she applied very early and got the full amount, which was $700 some. And then
That's the full amount?
Yes. And I was able to push really hard and get the landlady, because she needed it, the support that she needed from FEMA, but they only gave her $300.
Really?
While all the rest of us, which was like 3 other families, me being one of the families, none of us have received anything because they're trying to treat all of us like one household. Examples like that, where it's like, just, it's been very inconsistent, and just people like having, site inspections that don't happen. Thankfully, they just recently extended our deadline to March 31st to apply and be approved for our FEMA assistance. And so like all of these institutions are just doing a pretty piss poor job of, I think, helping all of us and have the help be consistent, having it be somewhat timely, but also not really making it difficult for us, because as everyone knows, like our living situations, everything, it's complicated in LA. Some of us just rent out rooms and houses. We don't have like units or whatever the case might be. And it seems, as usual, FEMA is, finding a lot of ways, or, stumbling into a lot of situations where they're being hands off or not very helpful with the fact that we all have our own situations, and it requires some more specificity, more details to honor, because none of us have the same situation, and some of them are rather unique.